Sarasota, splendidly chic, sporty sort of, starry-eyed for sure, and very laid back. But not this weekend. The arrival of the annual Superboat Roadshow sparks 3 days of unlimited jubilation for thousands of fans who make this an annual pilgrimage. It must be good. Sarasota's love affair with the sport spans more than 3 decades. Each year, 40-plus boats, support crews and more than 40,000 fans pump millions of dollars into the local economy while supporting Suncoast children's charities. Something about which event director Lucy Nicandri is justifiably humbled.
Well, Suncoast Charities for Children has constructed over $14 million worth of buildings in the area to serve special needs children, teens, and adults and their families. Last year, over 8,000 families and children were served. We're proud of that. And today's event is wonderful because the kids get to meet the teams, and some of these kids couldn't get here otherwise. Many are in wheelchairs, some are on the autistic spectrum, so we make it a day out for them, and it's just wonderful. And seeing the smiles on the driver and the throttlemen that are here, the kids, the parents, that makes it all worthwhile.
Talking love affairs, on the water it's not such good news for the fans. The pomposity between USA's Mark Granite and Qatar's Hassan Al-Thani on hold for this one. Bit of a pity, actually, after what was a Cocoa Beach classic. Swinging one way, then the other, high noon, revisited. This time, though, as Hassan prepares for a crack at the world speed record, he offers Granite a gift.
No, I'm just giving him a 4th of July gift so he can enjoy it and be there on the water, thinking that he'll be on his own. But trust me, Nasser is going to have something for Mark, and I wish that I can do the same for Mark this weekend. But he can enjoy it this weekend because we're coming strong for him at Key West.
In the absence of Gasset and Citron, Bob Bull's CMS and Lucas Oil complete the unlimited lineup. Captain Hook back in the book and unveiling an attractive new secret weapon.
We're from a similar background of racing small boats, right? Very competitive single outboard monohulls, and you really learn the true skills of how to run one of these big boats. Because our sport's so unique, where you get the throttle man, you get a driver, of course you got no brakes, and so you got to have this harmony between the two. I decide how fast it's going to go. She just decides where it's going to go.
But I can still hit him from where I'm sat, so that's good.
There is another unlimited boat present, but not to race on this occasion. Chris Cox is gearing up for his Key West debut later in the year.
It's a 50-foot Mystic. It's got twin Stotler racing engines. They're 700 cubic inch motors, supercharged, and we race unlimited. We're not going to enter the race on Sunday, but we're going to try and put the boat in the water on Saturday to see if it floats, because it'll be the first time in the water. In between now and Pensacola, which is in late August, we're going to do some testing out on Lake Lanier. So hopefully when we do go Pensacola, although we hope to be super competitive, we're going to use that as a first formal event, and then moving forward to Clearwater, and then inevitably, making our way down to Key West.
In the same way, Qatar 613 and Geico 113 battled for unlimited class bragging rights in Cocoa Beach, WHM5 and Stihl locked horns in Superboat 750. In the end, J.R. Noble and new throttleman Mark Al-Qaryouti settling that score 3 laps from home. WHM's Jay Muller expects it to be business as usual here.
In the first race we had in Port Charlotte, we had some bad luck. We got hosed down, took out 2 motors. We were able to salvage like a third or something out of there. Then Coco, we almost won. We lost our communications. I never saw Stihl on our outside, so we got second there. So we're in the hunt. Win here would be great for the old girl here, because we're getting a new boat for the next event.
Broadco also target the podium mix.
Sarasota here is one of the biggest races on the national circuit, so we spent at least a good hour out there today testing a couple sets of props, and we didn't come back in until we were happy.
The more time that we put together in the boat, the better we communicate, and that's what it's all about right now. It's about the seat time, the experience together, and we've got high expectations for this Sarasota race.
But watch your backs. Qatar's Ali Al-Nima and Billy Moore have been winding up number 20 of late too.
We tested the boat yesterday. We changed the setup. I was not comfortable with that setup, and I talked with my turtleman Billy, and I think for me, much better than before.
The plan: hold it wide open and see what happens. Let Ali sort it out.
So this is how they line up. Warpaint, Cleveland Construction and Racing for Cancer, making up what is the most competitive division on the tour. With sea conditions benign, practice doesn't reveal a great deal. There will be no bone-rattling laps tomorrow if it stays like this. But you never know what lurks over the horizon in Florida. A stray tropical storm is never that far away. The forecast is good though. Light winds, lots of sun, plenty to relish. And one racing certainty, whatever the weather. Little will faze Qatar's World Rally Champion, Nasser Al-Attiyah.
Our boat have a lot of speed now. Compare last race in Key West, and because we changed the engine. Yeah, and we're looking to win this race.
So, while the boats are launching for the Grand Prix, let's grab the opportunity to bury a very old chestnut. Now then, a lot of racegoers and others don't quite get what Guardian mode means. We hear a lot of drivers complaining about the loss of power because their engines go into Guardian mode. So let's clear it up. Earlier, I asked Geico Chief Gary Stray, is it fact? Or is it fiction?
The modern engines that we have in these boats today have an ECU, which is basically, to the layman, a brain that looks after the engine. It controls fuel and spark and everything else on the engine. And what it also does is it monitors everything that's going on in the engine. So if it sees there's an issue, i.e. that the water pressure is too low, water temperatures are too high, fuel pressures are too low, and it goes on and on, it then tells the engine you can't go at high RPM. So what it does, it restricts power on the engine, which what it's trying to do is make the engine survive to the end of the race. The only way to overcome this is by shutting the throttle from wide open all the way back to zero. So you're basically going from wide open to zero, which is the last thing you want to do when you're racing the boat, is shut the throttle. You have to hold it there for about a second, then bring the throttle back up. And if it isn't something that we call a critical Guardian, i.e. the engine isn't going to blow up because of the issue, it will bring you back to power. But every time you do that, you're losing 2, 3, 5 seconds a lap. Now you do that 2 or 3 times a lap, the boat in front of you is gone. So one of the big parts of these races is keeping your engines out of Guardian. If you can do that and you can keep everything working good on the engine, you're going to be out front. It's a very, very big part of the racing today.
Maybe next time ask him what Geico do. What do you think? Here's Lucy again.
This is a festival I think that should be sustained. This needs to keep going. It's the Indy 500 of offshore powerboat racing. Really, offshore powerboat racing series started in Sarasota here in the States. People look forward to it every year. It's around the July 4th holiday. The boat turnout is great. We've got 40 registered boats now, and I just think that they look forward to it. It's a tradition. It really is a tradition. I can get up every morning and really say I love my job, even though it may be stressful sometimes. Special events are always stressful. But seeing it all come together and smiles on everybody's faces for the most part is the rewarding factor, and knowing you're really helping a charity that has an impact on a lot of local families. Right now we are the #1 event as far as attendance and the amount of events within a festival. So we're pretty proud of that. We want to keep being #1. That's something that's, we've always got to go back and try to refresh it and keep making it better and better, and we want to keep that #1 spot.
I'll celebrate that. And more fireworks coming up. The big race is next. Welcome back. It's Sarasota, Suncoast Superboat Grand Prix. A packed house, in the water, on the rocks, under the gazebos, an estimated 50,000 spectators in anticipation. Customary yellow flag on the start boat, signalling all to line up green. We'll release them on their way. A few familiar faces missing this time, but an impressive turnout nevertheless. Oh, there is the green flag. Well, that's much too early, but that was almost stationary. 40 kilometers an hour is my understanding. Well, there's no red flag to bring them back. The start, legal, everyone confused, apart from Bob Bull, CMS, laughing all the way to the first turn. Right place, the right time for him. Qatar 613 buried in Geico's rooster tail are the big losers. 100 meters to claw back even before they reach the first pin. Quite unbelievable. Oh, and that's more like it. 750s on their way, in line and up and running when the flag goes up. That's how it should be. On board, WHM still there on their left, the early leader. JR Noble left, Mark Kowalski on the right. Championship leaders, front runners again. Riding with Qatar 20, Al-Nima and more. Fourth behind WHM and Broadco on their right. On board with them, Cleveland Construction playing close attention. And a lap one, CMS arrived first. Mark Granite and Scott Begovic, Geico menacingly tucked in their rooster. Nasser sensibly keeping Qatar wide and out of trouble as he tries to repair the damage from that ridiculous start. Well, let's look at it again. Well, they're hardly moving. And the green flag goes up. Well, that's crazy. Well, it's done, so let's get on with it. Noble and Kowalski leading the charge of the 750 Brigade now into Mark II. JR flying on the edge of his seat, which is his way. Last year's high points champion, of course. Run close all the way to that title by this boat. WHM, Billy Moff and Jay Muller, current world champions. But under a little bit of pressure here as Al-Nima and more find their feet. Lively stuff. Leaders coming in the end of lap 2. Nasser Al-Attiyah thundering down the straight. 12 kilometers completed, over 250 kilometers an hour, and banging 613 into Mark II. He thinks he's in his World Rally car, knows momentarily they're in front. In sufficient speed from the tight exit to seal the deal. A great way to announce your arrival. Granite and Begovic not hanging around either, also abandoned at the start line. Touch of paint rubbing to get them in the mood. But running a little wide off this exit, CMS wriggle off that hook. Al-Attiyah too benefiting from that very un-Geico-like lapse. Good opportunity here to take up residence behind CMS in front. Put the cat in the pigeons. Let the horses loose. Qatar 613, now over 250 kilometers an hour, have dumped Geico into third. That was superb. Nasser Attiyah, World Rally Champion. Car or boat, he knows where to put it, where few else dare. Powerboat Champion of the future? I think so. 750s also continue to hot up. Broadco averaging 180.4 kilometers an hour, 220 on the straights. WHM still with them, 179.3 that is. Slowest of the top four. Leaders still, 177.7. Qatar 20, 178.6. Great stuff. Lucas Oil, Nigel Hook, Shelley Jury Lee, little off the unlimited pace as you'd expect, but could be in for a bit of a bonus here. Bob Ball and Throttleman, Randy Sissom slowing up the 48-foot MTI CMS, turn 2, lap 3. Their race is run, I would guess, and that makes it quite a lap for Granite and Begovic Geico, lining it up on the first straight, then firing back past Qatar, down the second, and now hitting the front on the third. A second sector of 254 kilometers an hour, quickest of the race so far. Al-Qaryouti and Nicolini actually stay second thanks to Bob Bull. Get into overdrive. Superboat 750 in top gear already. Broadco continuing to reel in, leaders still. Slowly but surely, half a second chips off last time around. JR Noble still plenty in hand, but watching his wing mirrors. Broadco throttleman Grant Bruggeman last year, of course, sat alongside JR in still, but this year choosing to buddy up with Chuck Broadus. Lot to prove in both camps. WHM to a certain extent, and Qatar 20 the bridesmaids at the wedding here, but with double points at the next round in Michigan, and then Orange Beach, Pensacola and Clearwater, there's still plenty of time. Guy Coe still lead overall. Nasser Al-Attiyah, Matteo Nicolini 613 second, Lucas Oil third. All but Qatar though definitely slowing down, and there it is. There's your answer, heading straight on at Mark 2, following CMS back to the pits. Disappointing. 750 again, still on the move. Let's hear it for Chuck Broadus. Another second pulled out of Steele's lead. Less than 5 seconds now behind. Broadco, rocker rolling. JR bouncing along. The temperature is rising. WHM also under pressure. There they are, Ali Al-Nima also discovering another gear in the box. WHM last lap 179.3 kilometers an hour, and Qatar easily ahead of that 181.2, 225 on the straight. There they go, fabulous. Oh, but just a little reckless there at Mark 3, much too wide. Houdini Moff, no problem escaping that one. This is much better though from Al-Nima and more. Lighter boat, quicker in a straight line. Great strategy. Still a little puzzled why they don't do this all the time. It's good when they get there. Bad live, well, it's all getting a bit tight in there. Moff shifting over to share some of his paint. And here we go. A generous sort of chap, our Billy. But Al-Nima is sticking to the task. He's nailed it at the second attempt. And just to qualify that remark, if I may, why don't Qatar do it this way all the time? I haven't forgotten Al-Nima and Moore's stunning win at the final race at Key West last year. Oh, they have got it there. Just need to show it a little more often, was all I was trying to say. On the pin and Mark 3, and look at that, a boat on song, walking on the water at over 200 kilometers an hour. Billy Moff, a new WHM on the way, slimmer, sleeker and much quicker. Sport though will not be the same without the old tub Billy. 14 years, wasn't it? Wow. Lucas Oil, still the tortoise, not the hare. Accumulating points though, and if my calculations are correct, could well be second on the overall leaderboard at close of play. The redoubtable Guy Coe will certainly sit regally at the top. Still lead down to less than 4 seconds now as Broadco continue to hunt them down. Last lap 182.4 kilometers an hour, still 181.6. But it's not such good news for Qatar 20. There they are. They've dropped to 178.2. That's the slowest lap since the first. And here comes Moff. Well, he's skipping over the paint rubbing this time, I note. And a blip somewhere in here for Al-Nima and more. Down on pace, you can see that. Easy pickings ahead for the big skater, you would assume. Difficult to pinpoint. Mark 2 approaching for the penultimate time, and a chance perhaps here coming up on the straight to turn 3 to gauge more accurately how much quicker WHM and why Qatar is slower. Broadcoin still up ahead. Well, not that much slower actually. Qatar issues possibly improving here. Is it a last lap renaissance of Qatar team fortunes? Turn 3 coming up. Go on, Ali, get it in there. Well, he's certainly giving it a go. Oh, whoops-a-daisy, another wee gift there from Billy. Maybe washing off the paint he left earlier, but that has done Qatar 20 no good at all. Podium, now a long shot from there, last lap. Third not too bad for Moff and Muller actually. I make it they'll be just 5 points behind Broadco and 2-4-5 behind Still when the sun departs today. Meanwhile, up ahead, the grand finale, round the final bend, down the straight, the team of the day, 2 years after their boat burnt out here, on fire again in a much more enjoyable way. Miss Geico win the Suncoast Superboat Grand Prix. J.R. Noble holds off the resurgent Broadco to make it 3 in a row for him. Broadus giving up the chase in the end. Trump card up the sleeve, I wonder. Impressive performance. Billy Moff home in third, with Qatar 20 limping home in fourth. More signs though, their revolution is on the way. At times, they were quite brilliant during this race. Entertainment. The newly formed JR Gymnastics Squad, is it? Very versatile chaps. And a warm reception for the very likeable Granin and Begovic, rightly so. Shame if Qatar should spoil their Key West party, though. Hey, Broadco, the dark horses, are 750, piecing their act together race by race. But still, JR rules.
Anybody who watched it saw that how tight the boats were. In fact, I'll tell you, the Qatar boat really surprised, not only on the start, which was a bit unexpected, as you saw. It was a very, very slow start for everybody. So we were essentially doing 100 or 0 to 150, drag race to turn 1. But I want to say turn or lap 2, I thought Qatar was behind, and they shot through us like a bullet. I could not believe the speed that boat shot through us. We got a little tangled up down at that next turn 1, but it was shaping up to be one heck of an 18-lap race.
That's a disappointing day.
Yes, we are disappointed a little bit, but okay, we have a good boat, and we know now we are a competitor, with this boat. But okay, we need more experience with the engine, a new engine. Just need more test and to keep the boat reliable.
I'll tell you, what was the problem?
I think we break one west gate of right engine, and after breaking, the water come off and go inside the engine, and the engine was low, getting loose like 2,000 rev. So we see the bilge pump on, and we decide to come back. Because at the beginning I don't know if it was water pickup or about something in the engine, because we already checked now. Yes.
We got a fast boat. We gave it everything it had out there today. We ran a tough race. Trying to run them down was definitely our goal. We just needed a little bit more, but I can't complain a bit. We're doing great. I love it out there.
Just want to win one more, and after that, I think it'll be just one more.
Is he going to win one more, JR?
If he keeps throttling like that, he always will. He did an amazing job. Just, that's we're still learning. This is only our third race together, so. But yeah, like we'd been doing it all our life. It was great. So, knock on wood, we'll take one race at a time. But yeah, kind of nice to have this one. This is special.
It's hard to run against a 38-foot boat, especially when you got hairpin turns. That's that's like driving a bus out there, big yellow bus.
We had a great battle in the first couple turns, but still in Broadco for about the first 2 laps, and then Qatar and us had a pretty good little run going at the end there, and we ended up taking the 3rd place back. But it was a fun race, a little too flat for us. We like the rougher water.
Billy, there was a point when you got into 3rd place. Talk me through that. It was a good move, wasn't it?
Yeah, we had to fight pretty hard. We didn't have the acceleration that we really needed to get out front, and then once we got behind WHM, trying to get around them was a pretty good chore. Once we got around them, we were able to pull away, and then we noticed like 2 laps after that, the boat started slowing down, and we noticed the starboard engine was running hot. It had good water pressure, but it was running hot, and the boat just felt heavy. And talking to Steve and the guys on the radio, we just knew we couldn't keep WHM behind us, so once they got by, we just slowed down, finished the race, stay out there, collect points, and race another day.
It's all about the World Championship in America, though, really, isn't it, at Key West?
Yes, sir.
You reckon you'll be in good shape for that?
Yes, sir. Definitely.
I mean, how would it feel to be world champion?
I will feel same before when I take class 1. I take champion for championship or for the position. I'm gonna be same. It's nothing new.
Leaderboard then with a hint of inevitability. Geico and Lucas Oil with the 2 best reliability records lead the way in Unlimited. Broadco close up in 750, but with a lead of 240 points, surely JR Noble's title to lose. A great end, and sadly time to bid you farewell. The big showdown not quite reflecting its billing, but of course Sarasota never disappoints. Great event. From me, Peter Butler and the Qatar team, see you next time. Bye-bye.